What is up, my internet friends and family? I'm Charmix, and today I'm going to be reacting to 10 mind-blowing child prodigies by all-time 10s. So basically, this video is just going to be a bunch of kids who are smarter than me. But with that being said, the original link's in the description, and let's begin.
10 mind-blowing child prodigies. 10. Theodore Kaczynski. Theodore Kaczynski was a math prodigy, admitted into Harvard at just 16 years old. After graduating, he earned a doctorate, and his thesis paper was so complex that even his professors were unable to understand it. Kaczynski was one of 22 students experimented on as part of the CIA's infamous MK Ultra program, and soon afterward he became a recluse, living in a secluded cabin in the woods. He spent the next 2 decades mailing homemade bombs to university students and employees, killing 3 people and injuring 23 others.
What?
The FBI arrested him in 1996, and he is now serving 8 life prison sentences. 9. William James
escalated
Sidis.
fast.
Born in 1898, William James Sidis was considered to be one of the smartest children to have ever lived. At 18 months old, he was able to read, and at just 8 years old, he had developed a new mathematical formula, a logarithm table based on the number 12. In the same year, he not only taught himself 8 languages, but also created his own language, which he called Vendergood. At age 11, he was accepted into Harvard University and gave a lecture about 4-dimensional bodies. Understandably, Sidis struggled with the media attention surrounding him, and after graduation, he took a celibacy vow and lived the rest of his life secluded from society.
Seems to be a theme going on around that.
While most children spend their time playing video games, 11-year-old Taylor Wilson was busy in his garage building a small bomb made out of sugar and stump remover. Still a child, Wilson started making new developments in the field of radioactivity, and by 14, he'd successfully built a working nuclear fusion reactor.
Wait, I think I've heard of this one.
Wilson created brought the temperature of the plasma core to 520,000 degrees Celsius, 40 times hotter than the core of the sun.
Wow.
By 16 years old, Wilson was advising the US government on counter-terrorism after he built a device that could detect nuclear materials in cargo containers. 7. Kieran Williamson. Kieran Williamson is a 14-year-old art prodigy from Norfolk, England, who is often described as the mini Monet. He started painting at 5 years old after asking his parents to buy him a drawing pad on their holiday in Cornwall. Just 2 years later, he showcased his paintings in his first exhibition, which sold out in minutes, earning him $200,000.
How old was he when he did that?
By 8 years old, he was able to buy his parents' house from the proceeds of his work. By 11 years old, he was worth almost $2 million.
So he did it at 8 years
6.
old.
Sho Yano. As a child, Sho Yano stunned the world with his scientific ability and massive IQ of 200. He steamed through elementary to high school, and at 9 years old, he went to college. After his undergraduate degree, he was offered a place at the University of Chicago and graduated with a PhD in molecular genetics and cell biology at just 18. In 2012, at 21 years old, he became one of the nation's youngest ever qualified doctors and now works as a pediatric neurologist. 5. Adora Svitak. Adora Svitak was a child literary prodigy who gained national media attention at 7 years old for writing over 300 short stories, as well as her ability to read 3 books a day. At the same age, her first book, Flying Fingers, was published and was critically acclaimed, and she started teaching poetry to elementary school children. By
3 books a
13,
day?
She had become a leading activist in the importance of education and delivered her own speech at TED. And by 15, Svitak was speaking at the UN to discuss how technology can be used to improve child education. 4. Timothy Donor. After studying for his bar mitzvah as a teenager, Timothy Donor became interested in Middle Eastern culture, which prompted him to learn modern Hebrew. After learning the language at a fast pace with a tutor, Donor delved into Arabic by himself and became fluent in just 1 week. He dedicated the next 3 years of his life to intensely studying linguistics, and by 16 years old was able to speak a staggering 23 languages, including the Native American language Ojibwe, Indonesian, and Kurdish.
23
Nick D'Alessio.
languages.
At 12 years old, Nick D'Alessio decided to teach himself computer programming, which enabled him to release his first iPhone application later that year. Over the next few years, D'Alessio spent his time developing an algorithm that would automatically summarize large sets of text in an app called Sumly. D'Alessio became the youngest person in the world to raise venture capital after receiving a $1 million investment for the app. And in 2013, when he was just 17, he sold his app to Yahoo for over $30 million. 2. Sophia Yusuf. Sophia Yusuf achieved an A grade in the most challenging pre-college mathematics exam in the UK, which secured her a place at Oxford University at the age of just 12. Unfortunately, while her academic life thrived, her family life fell apart, and she suffered emotional and physical abuse from her father, who was subsequently jailed for the sexual assault of 2 underage girls. Yusuf eventually dropped out of Oxford University, and after working as an administrative assistant, a social worker, and even a prostitute, she now runs a blog that looks at media and feminism called Inquiring Feminist. 1. Mozart. World-renowned composer Mozart can only be described as a musical genius. At just 6 years old, he wrote his first composition, and by 8, he'd written his first symphony for a full orchestra. At the age of 14, on a trip to Rome, Mozart heard a performance of Allegri's Miserere, a choral work that consists of 9 individual vocal parts and lasts 12 minutes. Mozart was able to go home that day and write out the entire piece from memory.
So this video was pretty depressing because these kids are so successful. Except for the one who started sending bombs in the mail. That was a little bit odd. But anyway, guys, I hope you like this video. This is very interesting. Some of these kids are multi-millionaires, and they're only like friggin' 14, 15 years old, which is insane. Anyway, if you guys like this video, make sure you give it a thumbs up, possibly share with a friend. If you're interested in any more reactions, check out The Critical Bastard, where I do some there. And with that being said, I'll see you guys next time.